Okay, that can call the meeting to order. Please rise for the flag salute. No, wait, yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, please.
One second. Mayor Paz.
Here.
Mrs. Passio. Here. Mr. Ranieri.
Here.
Mr. Lowenstein.
Here.
Mr. Wood is absent.
Yes, he's excused.
Mrs. Kelly. Here. Mr. Farrell.
He is absent.
Absent. Mr. Long.
Here.
It's not Mr. Baster.
Mr. Bob.
Mr. Brock.
Here. Mr. Diori.
Mr. Dior is
Absent.
absent.
Well, we're just going to say absent. Public notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act as begun by the clerk in the following manner. One, posted on the bulletin board in the Borough Clerk's office on January 3rd, 2019, and two, emailed to the retrospective clerk posted on January 3rd, 2019. First order of business is approval of minutes. A motion is in order to approve the minutes of the September 24th and October 1st meeting submitted by the clerk as each member has received copies of this. You would say has received copies.
I'll make that motion. I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Who made the motion?
Motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Ms. Paxton.
Somebody's voice overrode.
They're going to be reading them all.
I just think that's a typo. Each member has received.
Does each member receive copies of the same? I don't see anything else.
Doesn't sound right. Reports.
I have the report of the police chief for the month of October. A total of $186.10 was collected for accident discovery, solicitor reports, and firearm permits. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. I have an email from the municipal court clerk that a total of $10,204.61 was collected in court revenues for the month of September. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. I reported the borough clerk for the month of October. A total of $3,308 was collected for various permits and licenses. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. I reported the registrar of vital statistics for the month of October. A total of $2,420 was collected for death copies, marriage licenses, and marriage copies. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. I have a second report from the municipal court for the month of October. Wow, we're doing it in time. A total of $14,917.57 was collected in court fees, and those monies were turned over to the treasurer. I have an email from the construction clerk. A total of $12,305 was collected in permits and CO fees for the month of October. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. I have the report of the fire marshal for the month of October. A total of $4,505 was collected in fire fees. 75 inspections were completed. There were 154 EMS incidents and 43 fire incidents. There were 2 Type 1 permits issued, and EMS fees collected in October, $23,612.40. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. I have the treasurer's report for the period ending September 30th, 2019. Total current fund revenue is $16,768,724.51. And I have the report of the tax collector for the month of October. A total of $1,927,632.17 was collected in taxes, and $42,723.81 in sewer rentals. And that's all I'm going to have.
Is there a motion to accept the reports as read?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Ranieri, second by Ms. Passio. All in favor?
Aye.
Committee reports. Finance Administration, Mr. Ranieri.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, John.
Nice to see everybody. Thanks for coming out.
That's back up.
All right. I'll start with finance. In finance, we had our committee meeting last week. Made a lot of progress. We focused on capital spending. I've mentioned a few times, we've been able to get a lot of stuff done lately because we are depleting our leftover capital funds that go way back to 2008. These are the balances left over on some of the projects we did. And one such project is the pickleball court that's completed. If any ping pong players or tennis players are out here.
The nets, the fence is not up yet. It goes up on Thursday.
Okay, great. I played, I didn't need a fence.
You
but-
didn't need a fence. 'Cause
Didn't
you
need a
don't
fence,
miss. You don't miss.
but it was, no, I missed. But I didn't miss that bad, did good. So it's, you'll see some things happening in town that are outside of our budget. That's because we're spending some of the leftover capital, trying to use it on some things that help the community. Good news regarding our storm drain situation. Phase 1 is completed. We had run an extra main on Crescent Boulevard to help with the June 20th storm that we had. Phase 1 is completed, and we're going to do a couple other things in 2020 to help try to deter that from happening again. I'm very excited about that. That was completed. Thank you, Harry. And last but not least, Reimagine Runnemede has entered into a grant competition. The grand prize is $100,000. The program is called Heart and Soul. This is a brief summary of what it is. Approximately 80 South Jersey communities applied for this competition, and after the first cut, only 32 remain. We are one of them. We made it. In 4 to 6 weeks, the number will be reduced to 10 towns, and then by the end of January, 5 towns will be chosen. 5 towns will be chosen and awarded $100,000 each town. Along this 10 to 12 week journey, much will happen, and we are asking our residents to support us as well as mayor and council, and we have their support. Our first event will be held next week. We are having our readiness community discussion, along with we're going to be having that with our civic organization members and residents. The dinner and discussion will be at the senior center at the Harry Williams building, and it will be Wednesday from 6:30 to 8:30. This is the date we have. We're sticking with that date. We had to squeeze it in somewhere. There's a lot going on. So Wednesday from 6:30 to 8:30. And if you would like to attend, get in touch with Eleanor or myself, and we'll tell you a little bit more about it. And it's a great program, and I'm looking forward to getting it started. And the rest is progress.
Okay. The only thing I'll say about the 13th, isn't that the same night as the planning?
It is. We just discovered that, so we're going to work around it somehow.
Okay. Okay. Public safety, Ms. Kevin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't have my mic. Let me see.
You don't need one.
No. I don't.
You don't really need
Oh,
one.
there it is. It's down there. Okay. Yeah. It fell down. It fell down.
We got one in the
Oh, it may.
We can switch the,
Police report. Calls for service, 778. Traffic summonses, 212. Motor vehicle crashes, 25. Arrests, 111. Hours of overtime, 16. Year-to-date, calls for service, 8,235 calls for service. And believe me, they have only done this with 279 hours of overtime. And that's quite amazing. And kudos to the police department for keeping overtime under wraps and making me happy. Thank you. No Narcan deployments for the police department. Fire department. Okay, year-to-date, EMS and fire fees total $300,224.91. The fire company has received the financing information from the bank, First Colonial, and is gathering information for long-term expenses. The fire company will be meeting with mayor and council sometime in the near future to discuss working toward updating and making needed improvements to the fire station. As you know, we plan to put all the fire department and all the equipment all over at the firehouse, so there's no need to have anyone here in this building. They'll be all at the firehouse. It will entail about a 2-year construction period, and it will include an elevator, and all the offices will be up on the 2nd floor. It's going to be quite an amazing result when it's done, and it'll only improve the services that we'll receive from our first responders. So we're thrilled to be part of that with the fire company and the fire department. And I'll keep you posted on future plans. Robert Del Sordo has invited everyone to a veterans luncheon. This is for the veterans in town. And he's invited us on November 11th at noontime to the Philly Diner. So I'm hoping that all of mayor and council will be able to attend and honor our veterans.
Everyone, you mean mayor and council?
Mayor and council,
Yes.
yes. And veterans and their families, yes.
It's always a very nice luncheon.
Oh, absolutely. In May of 2020, officers from the Runnemede Police Department will be riding in the Police Unity Tour from New Jersey to Washington, D.C. under the Chapter 2 Southern New Jersey chapter for 4 days of biking. And it's going to be an amazing event. The journey is long and challenging. Eric Speakman will be on the tour, as well as Mr. Woolen, Officer Woolen. Is there anyone else besides?
Burns.
Oh, so it'll be Sergeant Burns, Officer Woolen, and Officer Speakman.
Yes.
The three of them will be on this journey. It's a 3-day journey, and the last leg of the journey ends at the memorial in Washington, D.C. So there is a GoFundMe that has been established by the Police Association, and that is GoFundMe to assist the covering fees of $1,800 to enter, and they're trying to raise $7,500. I think they're in the 6,000 range at this point in time. And if you care to send a check, it's the Police Association of Runnemede. And that's a 501c3, so your check will be tax deductible. Do you want to add anything, Sergeant? I mean, Captain?
You go online to the GoFundMe?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
guys
what
are
do you put
excited
in?
about it.
What do you put in?
I don't have all the
Police
information for
Association
Sergeant
running
Burns,
for
but I
that?
think it's pretty self-explanatory to go in there. But yeah, we're excited that people are representing our police department now. I think it's really the first time. And these guys are excited about it, and they're going to really do a good job.
Great.
And that's my report, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Public events, Ms. Massio.
Okay, thank you so much, Mayor and Council. Our Borough Halloween party was a success, as it always is, and I want to just thank everyone who helped to make it a great event, everyone who volunteered their services. It was wonderful. We had lots of candy and candy apples from Gardner's, and as always were delicious, and I hope everybody got to get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. I do want to please make note of this, that our Christmas tree lighting and our fire truck parade that we have every year, and it is always the Sunday after Thanksgiving, and the date is December 1st. It will begin at the Harry Williams at 6 p.m., followed by the Christmas tree lighting, and there will be a parade which will begin at 7 o'clock on the Black Horse Pike. It is wonderful, brings in Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus, and the kids just love it. Everyone gets a gift, all the kids get a gift. So, and there will be 2 balloon artists, photo booth, and some craft making, so we'll have some fun on that night. Also, if you are a caregiver for feral cats, the Green Team has a meeting on November 18th. We've decided to have it at the Senior Center because with the wintertime coming, cats need shelter too. So if you know anyone that has cats and they're feeding them and they need some shelter, please tell them to come over. The meeting starts at 7 o'clock, and what we're going to do is we ask that you bring a storage bin. They cost about $5. All the rest we will provide. We will show you how to make shelter, we will provide the insulation, we will provide the straw that goes into that, so that we can keep our feral cats warm in the winter time. So if you have any questions, you can call me, and you can find my number on the website, and we'll put it out there. Again, November 18th, it's on a Monday night at 7 o'clock at the Senior Center. So we hope to see a lot of people. I know there's a lot of cats out there, and I know there's a lot of people that are feeding them. We do hope, and we'll talk to you about getting the TNR, which is trap, neuter, and return, because this is really important. They get vaccinated, and we do have an ordinance which you can become the caregiver and take care of them, and they are basically protected. So with that being said, I move forward. If there's any questions, that's it.
Thank you. Construction engineering, I'm going to let the borough engineer report on those activities. Public Works, you have something?
Yes, I do. From Mr. Wozunk, our Public Works Superintendent, leafing schedule is posted on the internet on our website, runnemede.org. He says leafing is going well. Just a reminder, no sticks or big branches in the leaves, just leaves only. And in case people don't know, the leaves, when they're on the sidewalk or the street, it's best to leave them as much as you can on your sidewalk or in between the sidewalk and the street, so they're not in the street as much. All the leaves that are in the street, when it rains and the wind blows, they get washed into the stormwater drains and helps to clog them up. So if we can get them as much on your property as possible, that'd be even better. With the weather turning cold, the snow plows are being checked. The sprinklers in the sports buildings are being winterized. And the week after next, the mayor and I and Mr. Wozunk will be walking the exhibition floor at the League of Municipalities down in Atlantic City, looking for ways to improve our Public Works Department for next year and the years going on. Each year we go down there looking for better equipment to save man hours and to make our public works more efficient. And I was going to talk about the pickleball courts and some Parks and Rec, but someone else did.
You want to go right on it? You want to go right on the Parks and Rec, or you?
The Parks and Rec is, we're pretty much done for the soccer season for the fall. The lights are being picked up
Yes.
that we supplied for the soccer down at Green Acres Park. And the rest is just progress as far as that. As I said, the sprinklers are being blown out and the sports buildings are being winterized. The water in both softball and the RYAA will be shut off soon. Rest is progress, yes.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes.
I walk the park, I love it, and I would like to be able to sit deep in the park and just be in that quiet time. But there's no benches to back down in the...
We have discussed that.
Is that a problem?
No, I don't think it would be a problem. It's the first I've heard about it, though. It's a good point. I've never thought about it. When I walk, I don't sit, but...
It's nice to be quiet and just be part of nature for about 10 or 15 minutes while I'm walking.
I think some benches have been put, but I agree with you that far side, there is
We
a
did
need.
discuss that with Harry at one
Yeah.
point.
And-
He had a good reason for
Not having it.
it. I don't know.
So we got a foot
It was, yeah.
But I already have the spot.
Okay.
So we'll work. We are
We're
working.
we're slowly doing little things.
It would be a pleasure.
You can get a
Come
foot
with
on.
me on Saturday.
Solid ground.
I could walk with you.
Good suggestion.
If you get a folding chair and take it with you, so... no.
Yeah.
But the rest is progress.
Okay, thank you. Solicitor's report?
I'll rely on my report from caucus, and the rest is progress. And I look forward to starting our monthly caucus, pre-caucus report.
I appreciate that. Engineer's report.
And we will also rely on our report that we provided in Rome.
Just want to let everybody know about the roads, just briefly, because, what road work is being done right now. Could you know that off the top of your head? I know it, but I was going to let you report it.
Mayor, I would love to hear about the road.
Okay, so if anyone doesn't know, the borough received $375,000 from DOT, so that's the gas tax that we all complain about, but it did come back to the borough. The The borough added, I think, $125,000 to that, so with $500,000, we're doing North Rowand Avenue, Woodland, part of Chisler. We're doing 4 roads. The work has started, curbs are going in first, and aprons, and then the millings and stuff. It should have substantially completed before the holidays. At least that's what my understanding is. Obviously, if there's bad weather.
Before the December holidays.
Before the December.
Not before Thanksgiving,
Yes.
before the December holidays.
Yeah, substantial completion. And other than that, in the engineering work, I don't think there's anything else, but the road work is big. We were hoping to get our 2020 award before the end of this year, which will help us with planning for next year.
It's still, from my understanding, they're still planning, NJDOT is still planning to have the awards out this year, so hopefully over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
That way, that will assist municipalities in providing for their 2020 budget, and hopefully also getting the roads out earlier in the construction period, so we're not
In
up against
November.
the holidays.
So just for everybody in the audience, typically what the state would do is they would wait for us to pass our budget, then they would send us a check in June. Now the idea is they let us know before we pass our budget.
Right.
So that we can plan better, so hopefully that'll be a better thing. Okay?
Nick, may I just add?
Yes,
I know that the gas tax, a lot of people, they complain about the gas tax, gas is going up. But that money does really come in handy. You know, we're getting more roads done, and all the small municipalities, you hear people complain about it. It's coming right to us, and we put it right back into the roads, so it's a big deal. Next time someone complains about it, let them know in your town, we're getting the roads done.
we do have an audience here, but I don't think they're here for these agenda items. So I'm just going to go right to the resolutions. We'll do them one by one. First up, I have is Resolution 19-126, is a resolution authorizing an interlocal service agreement by and between the Borough of Runnemede and the County of Camden for Project Save referral services. Do you want to elaborate on, you want to say anything about that, or just, it's been positive? Do you want to just say?
It's been renewed for another 3 years, so that is excellent. It's a marvelous program. People that wish to be put into a program for addiction do so through this SAVE program. It's all positive. It's just wonderful. And I'm so glad that it's been renewed.
So would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Ranieri, second by Ms. Passio. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes,
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
4 ayes, 2 absent.
All right, the resolution is adopted. Resolution 19-127 is a resolution awarding a contract for animal control services for 2020. Just so people know what their, what is it? The licenses.
homeward bound.
Yeah, $475 a month. This is for the animal control.
It's independent.
Well, homeward bound is what.
Separate.
No.
Separate.
Different, something different.
This is independent animal control.
This is the guy that
It's
picks up.
just being awarded.
So $475 a month it costs to have someone,
Slight increase from last year, right?
it was a
No,
little.
no increase.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, no?
Yeah, no, it
No,
wasn't.
this is the second year, second year of a bid that went out last year, and this was our option to
Okay.
do this, so he didn't change the price.
Okay, is there a motion?
I make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Ms. Passio, second by Ms. Kelly. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes,
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
4 ayes, 2 absent.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 19-128 is a resolution appointing a designated employer representative for the drug testing CDL drivers. This basically sets Mr. Wozon and Mr. Ritz as the appropriate personnel to take care of that. So I'd like to make a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Ms. Passio. Roll call.
Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes,
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
And Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
4 ayes, 2 absent.
All right, the resolution is adopted. Resolution 19-129 is a resolution authorizing the purchase of a fingerprint machine for the police department in Crosswest under federal contract. The fingerprint machine is $12,969.56. That's specific.
About 3 months, I think.
So just a discussion, we're replacing a fingerprint machine that is, what, 18 years old?
Yeah, it's old, and this one that I researched, the surrounding towns have, it'll get the officers in and out of the police station back on the street faster when they process an arrest. So we really good for it.
Great. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Neely, second by Ms. Kelly. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
4 ayes, 2 absent.
All right, the resolution is adopted. Resolution 19-130 is a resolution authorizing the sale of property through an online auction. There's one change, I believe. Didn't Harry tell you to take the 36-inch mower off of this list?
No.
Okay, we're going to take that, we're going to amend that, to take that lawnmower off the list.
X mark
The
36
X mark?
mower.
Yes. Yeah, what we intend to do with that is basically, just an agreement with the school district, kind of work with them. and
Oh, okay.
utilize that mower.
That's good.
So that's going on. Okay, with that amendment, would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to amend the resolution as stated.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Ms. Passio. Discussion, roll call, please.
Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
And Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. And on that resolution was the 2002 red Oldsmobile.
Correct. That was the
The
first.
car was on there also. Resolution 19-131 is a resolution authorizing the transfer of premium back to the tax collector's redemption account from the general fund. This is basically a court order.
Well, this was, remember, we transferred funds for 2 premiums from 2 tax sale certificates because the redemption never took place within 5 years. They were both foreclosures. Well, the court overturned one of the foreclosures. And unfortunately, that brings to life the certificate again. And now they're redeeming it. So we're going to have to refund that money.
And Ms. Pinto had my office review the legality, and
Correct.
we do concur with this course of action.
The reason we're making a big deal about it is it's $18,000, so we have to get $2,000. Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Neri, second by Ms. Passio. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
All right, the resolution is adopted. Resolution.
Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to add that is an extremely rare occurrence, extremely rare.
Yes, but it's working the system.
It is.
Yes.
Resolution 19-132 is a resolution authorizing property maintenance liens. I think there's 14 of them for grass cutting and other property maintenance issues. Someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Passio, second by Mr. Lobenstein. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
4 ayes, 2 absent.
The resolution is adopted. Resolution 19-133 is a resolution authorizing the borough to enter into an interlocal service agreement with the County of Camden for furnishing and delivery of sodium chloride. This is for the, otherwise salting of the roads. Yep. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Ms. Passio. Roll call.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
4 ayes, 2 absent. I actually have an announcement regarding this. I got a phone call this afternoon from the administrator in Gloucester City. We passed a resolution
The
a
Ryan.
month ago to buy brine. Their building where they house their brine has been deemed
Unsafe.
unsafe, and they cannot use it. So they will not be providing brine.
We have another agreement
Do
with
we
Gloucester
use, I don't
Township.
know, do we use them on a regular basis?
We have 2 agreements. We have one with Gloucester
I have
Township.
to
and
email
one with
Harry that,
Gloucester
it
City.
was late this afternoon, I was told that.
Let him know.
So they're gonna build, they're moving it to a,
You mean we can't use the brine at all?
they
Yeah, they have
can't
to-
put any brine in the building.
Oh,
Or whatever it is they store there.
But I think we had another agreement with Gloucester Township, so we should be okay.
I haven't seen that yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so we have first reading for ordinance 1914. It's an ordinance adopting the redevelopment plan. What this is the last step of the redevelopment, correct? This is the last step. This formalizes a very brief, broad stroke plan that identifies, that concurs with the identification of the redevelopment zone and what can or can't happen in that zone.
And this is the corridor along the Blackhurst Pike, in essence mirroring your commercial corridor, but expanding it. And again, this is a non-condemnation redevelopment plan. No properties can be taken under this process. And again, it provides broad outlines for potential redevelopment opportunities, incentives, and standards along the Blackhurst Pike corridor.
Okay. Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt on first reading and advertise according to law with a public hearing to be held at a meeting on December 3rd, 2019, beginning at 7 p.m.
Very good.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Ms. Passio. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein,
Yes.
Mrs. Passio,
Yes.
and Mr. Renier.
Yes.
4 ayes, 2 absent.
All right. And then, going along with that, we have to do a resolution 19-134. It's a resolution referring the redevelopment plan to the planning board for their review and consent.
And actually, I'm going to say, it's really for their review against consistency with the master plan.
Okay.
So that is, they're not really reviewing and approving it. They're saying, is this consistent with all the objectives and stated goals of your most recent master plan?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr.
I'll second
Ranieri,
that motion.
second by Ms. Passio. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Renier,
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly,
Yes.
Mrs. Passio,
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein,
Yes.
4 ayes, 2 absent.
All right, that resolution is adopted. We do have to add,
Can we talk about that?
well, I have two things to add first.
Oh, okay.
So number one is, will be, if everyone recalls at the caucus meeting, we had some amendments that, between the police department and us, some changes to the towing ordinance. So at this point, we have a rough draft, but we just want to do a first reading by title only, ordinance 19-15, which basically would just make some clarity in the ordinance. This would be the one that would be awarded in January for 3 years. It just clarifies it. So we still have a full month to review it before it's public hearing. So would someone like to make a motion? Basically, it's the same statement as the redevelopment. You want to do that, Delano, or?
I'll make a motion to adopt on first reading, advertised according to law for the public hearing, same date.
Yeah, there you go.
Held on December 3rd, 2019, beginning at 7 p.m. to amend ordinance number 1915.
Yeah, well, that's it. Jeff?
To amend the towing.
To amend the
Amend the
towing.
zoning ordinance.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
So motion by Mr. Ranieri, second by Ms. Passio. Roll call, please.
Mr. Renier,
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly,
Yes.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
And Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
4 ayes, 2 absent.
Okay, and then the clerk, I'm very surprised the clerk waited to the end of the day to send me this
I just got it.
resolution. You want to explain to everybody?
I sent everybody a copy of a resolution that the League of Municipalities and the Municipal Clerks Association of New Jersey is asking all of us to adopt because of what has happened with the Oprah legislation. It is out of control.
You want to just read your statement, because I thought you wrote that pretty concisely.
Yeah, you
Do
did.
you have that? Want me to
I
give it
don't
to you?
have my statement.
Your email.
You have it there, Craig? Because I thought you did a good job, because I want people to understand
Yeah.
that it's not that you're against Oprah,
It was very good.
you're against some of the,
Okay, I'm asking that you consider adopting the attached resolution regarding the Open Public Records and Meetings Acts. I just received this today, so I still have to plug in Runnemede's information regarding Oprah requests. The League of Municipalities and the Municipal Clerks Association of New Jersey is asking that the 20-year-old law be reviewed. The open requests we are getting are more and more from individuals and corporations using data for personal profit and not for documents necessary for a particular issue. Since allowing documents to be requested free of charge, the requests that I have received have increased steadily from year to year. For example, in 2015, I had 95 requests, and in 2018, 160 requests. And as of 9/1 of this year, I have had 159 requests. Our association and the league would like to see the laws reviewed and amended if necessary. This resolution is asking that a commission be formed to study the laws and the impact they have on the clerk's offices and how to balance the public's need for information against the frivolous requests which we all receive. Thank you. And that's.
So one of the big things is the data mining that's
Yes.
being done, correct? Is that the right term?
100%. Yeah, Ms. Pinto and I spoke earlier. Obviously, I think we all agree, and we all promote transparent government, especially at the local level, because honest and open government is good government, for sure. But we get these data mining requests all the time, just seeking any and all records about our employees' contact information, or any, uncashed checks that are out there. And it's just, it is thousands and thousands of pages of data.
Delinquent taxpayers.
Correct.
So that they can harass delinquent taxpayers to either sell them their homes or to loan them money.
And it's out-of-state people, and with all the towns that my firm has, it's the same request from the same people over and over and over again. And with the volume of open requests, I can tell you that it's a lot of time and it's a lot of money, both for your municipal clerk and also from our office, that we could be spent using more efficiently. Absolutely.
Because the construction office, Diane has to go through records all the time, looking for information regarding open permits. And it's out of hand. It is out of hand.
I mean, once again, it's a non-binding, it's just a resolution.
Correct.
Currently, in the lame duck session of the legislature, Senator Weinberg is supposed to be looking at this, trying to figure some different changes out there. I'm not quite sure how it's going to play out, but we'll see.
We had no idea the amount of.
Well, this is the first that really she's quantified it and let us see that, when we've known that there were these kinds of data mining happening. But until the entire league and the Clerks Association brought it to our attention, it's, now it's had a little more.
It really changed when they instituted the portion where if you email the records, we can't charge them.
Which was good and bad.
Well,
Because email's easier than making copies, but.
well, not if you have to go and find things.
I
Yes,
understand.
that's not the way to do it.
For the smaller requests, certainly.
Yeah.
For the larger requests, I would argue that it may get more burdensome.
It was tougher. So does everyone feel that this is something where we could just pass a resolution, or do you think it's not?
I think the commission should be able to look at it. I trust Loretta Weinberg. I think she's terrific.
Okay,
And if she's pushing something, I'm all for it.
okay. I'm not quite sure that was
No, I
the.
think that's the way to go.
We're actually taking the opposite tack, Mrs. Kelly.
Loretta is a little different.
Don't you think that Loretta is looking at this to establish the
Wants to make it
commission?
even more onerous on
Yes,
the clerk.
Oprah's her thing.
Oh, so she
Sure.
wants,
And again, I think we all
let's
recognize.
understand what they're trying to do then.
I don't think she understands the impact that this all has on
It's up to you guys.
So I think it's a good intent. However, I think the way it's
Well, then
carried
who's
out
gonna
often
run
from
the
the state
commission?
level.
No, the resolution is
From the
the
state level,
that they
it's-
look at.
Yes, the clerk's
And the
association.
impact that it has on the municipal level.
So they know what we're doing.
So what's Loretta's part of this?
She sponsors the bill, correct?
She wrote.
She wrote the bill.
And always is looking to constantly update it as technology changes and record
I think
change.
it's pretty benign. I mean, at least we were part of a large group basically from the league saying that it should be reviewed.
And that's all.
Oh, I agree,
And
I agree.
I did have a chance to read the resolution today, and it recognizes the benefits and the virtues of the Open Public Records Act. It's not, in any way repealed in any way, it's just, hey, from our perspective, take a look at these factors that may or may not have been considered when passing these changes to the law.
So
What
what,
do you recommend?
Or
this
let's look at
it would
this.
be resolution 19135 if we want to.
Let's do it.
Well, did somebody make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, motion by Mr. Ranieri, second by Mr. Lobenstein. Is there any other discussion? You okay? Just basically saying to do a study.
Do we need a roll call for this? or-
Just all in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
I asked the lawyer.
There's no.
You can do all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the resolution passes. All right, so you can take it up. We'll do payment of bills next. Would someone like to make a motion to pay the monthly bills?
I'll make a motion to pay the monthly bills.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Lobenstein, second by Ms. Passio. Roll call, please.
Is that Lobenstein and Passio?
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mrs. Passio? And
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein?
Yes.
4 ayes, 2 absent.
All right, the bill shall be paid. This portion of the meeting is open to the public. Anyone wishing to speak, please come to the microphone, state your name and address. Anyone? All right. Even though I know your name, you still can.
Lorraine Costello, 35 East Fourth Avenue. A couple things. I want to thank you guys, because about 2 years ago, a bunch of us came here. We complained about the vacant houses. And you guys did a good job cleaning up the vacant houses, and you guys did a good job getting the drug addicts off the Black Horse Park. So I just want to say thank you for that. And also, you guys are doing good jobs with the picking up the leaves this year. Way better than last year. I mean, they already came around twice. So I have a question about the resolution for referring the redevelopment plan to the planning board. It says, you said, is this consistent with the master plan? What is the master plan?
You want to explain that better to me?
If I could. As your municipal planner and also the board planner for the planning board, you're required every 10 years to review your municipal master plan. This is a document that looks at the land use goals and objectives in terms of how the land is used within a municipality, your zoning districts, your setbacks, your heights, your building coverages, all that. So when it used to be every 6 years, now it's every 10 years. Just last year, we did a was it last year or the year before?
It was the year before. It took a long time.
It goes fast. So we recently did a master plan re-examination. So most of the master plans for the municipalities, similar to Runnemede in this area of Camden County, most of the master plans were done in the late 70s when zoning was actually introduced by the state legislature. And then on a certain period, each cycle, you have to review those original goals and objectives. For instance, to increase economic opportunity along the Black Horse Pike, to look at parking concerns, to look at streetscapes. These are things that have recently been reviewed in our master plan re-examination. So that document is on file with the municipal clerk, and
Are you going to get mad if I ask for a copy of it?
it's actually posted on the
It's
website.
online.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, because you were saying about the document.
No, that's,
I was joking.
that would be something that I think is completely fair game, and I think all residents should have
The most
access
recent
to.
re-examination is actually on our website.
Where is it on the website? Is it called the master plan? Is that
In
what
the
it's
master
called?
plan, it'll be either in the departments or on the left-hand side. But what it did for us, to give you an example, the garage heights in town were only 12 feet high. And so those were things, those are the kind of things we look at. People have more cars than they did in the 70s. So we've changed certain things about having, more off-street parking in the residential neighborhoods where it's possible.
We looked at sidewalk commercial uses, we looked at drive-throughs.
Yeah, we allow drive-throughs in town, which we never allowed in the past, outdoor dining.
There's a
Are
lot.
you looking at crosswalks and that kind of stuff?
Crosswalks are more of a safety issue, which is brought to our attention from the police department and things like that. Changing streets to one way, that's typically not in the master plan as much.
Signage, right?
Signage, we look at signage,
Broader
facades.
It's really, the master plan is the overarching or general view of land use that the planning board and when the board sits as a zoning board looks at when they're considering land use applications or planning.
It's an overall template of your municipality.
Right, I'm going to read it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be-
So the redevelopment plan is supposed to blend with the master plan.
It's supposed to be consistent.
Yeah, so we're not doing something that's out of our
Right.
original intent.
Because then what's the point of the master plan if you're just going to do a redevelopment 2 years later?
And something that would be wholly inconsistent
Correct.
with your master plan, which is a public process. It was a public hearing where we went through and reviewed all the findings of the master plan, not only on the planning board level, but also, it was all on the planning board level.
Well stated, Mr. Long.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Lorraine.
It's under government, boards and commissions, and then you go to, under boards and commissions, planning board, and it's in there, the master plan.
Okay.
Or you can over it.
Hello, hi, I'm a Turkish interpreter. This lady's Turkish, and I usually interpret for her son.
Can you
medically.
state your name and address and her name?
Oya, yes, Oya Garansky, Turkish interpreter.
And where are you from? Your address?
My address, 180 Prairie View Lane, Mickleton, New Jersey.
Okay, just for the record.
Yeah, sure.
Hi, my name is Anna Rosebaş, address 65 Mescid Avenue, Runnemede.
Yes.
I'm wondering if I could, we would like to raise chickens in our backyard, one or two. I have a 10-year-old son. And he was prematurely born, and he's 10 years old, and he would like to have one or two chicken in the backyard. We're wondering if we would get a permit for it.
So currently, the law does not allow for chickens in Runnemede. Nowhere in Runnemede do we allow chickens. So we understand, we've met before, we understand that the boy, you know, it would be helpful for him. At one point, I think we did ask if there was a medical reason that we could give an exemption for a medical reason.
Şimdi diyor ki daha önce duymuştuk biz bu konuyu, çocuğumuzun istediğini biliyoruz diyor. Runnemede'in hiçbir yerinde izin yoktur, kanunen yok. İzin veremiyoruz tavuklara. Diyor ki biz diyor daha önce hani bir doktordan tıbbi olarak ihtiyacı varsa kağıt getirin, görüşelim dedik. Kağıt getirdiniz mi?
So if we had something, it's called a therapy chicken, I don't know if you've heard that term before. You know that term, therapy chicken?
Diyor ki terapi için, chicken, yani çocuğa terapi yapmak için diyor, böyle bir kağıt getirin diyor. Hani terapi
One
için.
chicken. But it would only be one chicken.
Sadece bir tane
Bir tane
chicken.
de olabilir, onlar kaçtırmış değil.
Ama diyor ki kağıt getirin doktordan diyor. Getirdiniz mi?
Bir tane getirmiştik.
I remember bringing just a paper as far as from the doctors.
Yes, the problem with that paper, I recall it, it wasn't specific to a chicken. It said that any animal would be good for the boy.
Orada diyor mektupta herhangi bir hayvan diyormuş. Sadece tavuk demiyormuş.
Yeah, we tried the cat, but then he developed some allergies. As far
So
as
could we get an updated, more specific to a chicken? So that would, from the doctor, that would help us, because I think I can speak for council, there isn't a real interest in allowing a general chicken program like other municipalities have done. However, I think if the correct information is provided, and not just any animal specific to a therapy chicken, we would certainly be willing to consider that exemption for medical purposes at
Because
that
this way we
time.
don't have to change the law for the entire community. We
Correct.
can be specific to this instance.
Diyor ki
You also
üstünde
mentioned
diyor
that it would be preferable
tavuk
to
terapi
add versus
hayvanı olarak
Yeah.
kullanacak. Çocuğuma diye doktordan getirirsen o zaman bir tanesine müsaade ederiz. Bütün kanunu değiştirmemize gerek yok çünkü kanunu değiştiremeyiz diyor. Anladın mı?
And it would have to be a hen, not a rooster.
Okay. Diyor ki tavuk diyor, horoz değil diyor.
So we understand your situation, we want to help out, but for us to change the laws, you see there's a process.
What is the reason behind it that you don't allow chickens?
Because in this community, many years ago, we talked about the master plan. It went from an agricultural type of community with many farms to there are no farms in the community right now. And those type of animals, they're, you know, I don't know enough about being a farmer, but I do know that the chickens obviously have a different schedule than the rest of us who go to work at a certain time. Obviously,
They're generally not considered domesticated.
they're not domesticated, as a dog or a cat or small monkeys.
Evcil hayvan olmadıkları için, çiftlik hayvan olduğu için, Runnemede artık çiftliklerin olmadığı bir yaşam beldesi olduğu için müsaade etmiyorlar. Çünkü onlar sadece çiftlik şeyi olan yerlerde oluyor. O açıdan.
They're not the raised chickens. Go ahead.
Because my sister lives in Blackwood, and she has chickens.
They do, because Gloucester Township, I live there as well, they did pass that type of ordinance. And other municipalities have done so with varying levels of success. Some find it pretty difficult to manage. I can tell you Gloucester Township is a much larger community, and therefore I think they have more of the resources to manage that sort of issue. But I think at this community, it's something that we have considered. But overall, I think at this point, we're not interested in doing it. However, for your situation, if we're provided with the right documentation, we will certainly consider it, and I think there is a willingness to work with you on this.
Gloucester County'de olduğu için diyor, orada olduğu için orada çiftlikler ve kanunlar değişik diyor. Bizim burada maalesef o türlü kanun geçmiyor diyor. Siz diyor tavuk terapi için kullanılacak diyor. Doktorlar hak getirin, size ayrıcalık tanımaya çalışalım diyor.
Ben bir şey sormak istiyorum. Kanunu yapan yani onlar değil mi yani değiştirmek?
So there's no way you can change the law. It's that way.
There is a way, we're just not interested in doing so.
There's not enough interest.
Right, but we are willing to create an exemption for you if we're provided with the correct information.
Kanunları değiştirmek istemiyoruz diyor. Bir kişi için. Onun için diyor sizden mektup istiyoruz.
Ama bir şey yani herkes için bir tane kimse alınmıyor yani. Herkes için.
I mean, just, I don't think people would mind it. I mean, just me
Well-
having a chicken in my backyard.
You know, we have actually problems with people who have dogs in other yards. The police department has to handle those kind of calls. So animals in general can be difficult. I love animals, I have a dog, and things like that, but there are problems. So this is something that was reviewed by the master plan many, many years ago, probably 50 years ago. This was changed. So there is some interest in some of this stuff, but at this time, there's just not enough interest to make that change. Remember, we're representing over 8,000 people, so we have to take everyone's interest.
Diyor ki biz 8.000 haneye burada diyor şey yapıyoruz diyor. Hizmet veriyoruz diyor. Yani bir kişi için bunu değiştiremeyiz diyor. Bazen diyor köpekler bile diyor bahçede köpek besleyen kişiler bile diyor rahatsız oluyor polise haber veriyor.
Bir tane bir şey sorabilir miyim yani? Bana burada bir monkey izin almışlar bahçede bir tane.
I heard there's a monkey in somebody's backyard in the
Because monkeys are permitted, actually, if you can believe that.
Onun müsaadesi varmış. Is
I
it
don't know
better
there's a
than
monkey.
chicken?
Once again, it was an ordinance that was passed many years ago. We haven't had the time to really look at it.
Is
There hasn't been a lot of calls on monkeys.
ordinance for a chicken?
What's that?
Is it that hard to pass an ordinance?
Yes, because, let's be clear.
I don't think it's hard, I just think you just don't want to do it.
No, in the Borough of Runnemede, this is why people, you know, farmland is in certain areas, and that's what we talked about. Zoning was created, actually created in the late 20s, wasn't zoning created in the 20s?
In New Jersey, it was the late 70s.
Okay, but there's been zoning, so in the 70s, when towns started to regulate zoning, so there are towns where your minimum lot size is, what, 10 acres? So towns have the ability to regulate that, so more agricultural communities have larger properties with animals and things like that. So the idea of zoning is we want businesses in certain areas, we want homes in certain areas, and we want farms in certain areas. And in this community, which has been around a long time, we've kind of established that it's a residential in some areas, and other areas are different, all are different zones.
Her belediyenin diyor, bizim belediye ev yani oturma yeri, yerleşim yeri çiftlikle alakası olmadığı için diyor. O türlü hayvanları burada isteğini bile kanunlara geçirmek çok zor oluyor. Çünkü bu kanunlar 1920'lerde ilk yerleşim kanunları ortaya çıktı. 70'lerde son halini buluşturuyor bu bölgede. Dolayısıyla bunu değiştirmek diyor, o maymunun şeyi de kanunla diyor. 1920'lerden gelen bir şey. Son zamanlara göre müsaadeden olmuş bir şey değil. I mean, sometimes, just townships, they make, changes to their laws. I mean,
Absolutely.
nothing
I
is
think we're kind of
permanent.
going in circles here. We agree, we hear your point, provide us with that medical documentation, and we will consider an exemption for you. Okay, and that's the best we can do.
Şimdi her şey diyor, dönüp dolaşıp aynı şeye geliyoruz diyor. Siz o getirin o terapisi için. Peki getirin verin diyor, biz gözden geçirelim.
Okay?
Bak yine aynı şeyi söylüyorsun, o avukat buranın avukatı.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to come up? Horses?
Thank you.
Seeing no one else, is there a motion to close the public portion?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor? Meeting come in a minute. All in favor to close the public portion? Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Longstein, second by Ms. Pasco. All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned at 7:57.